We're about a month away from the release of James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie, and the director is calling out other studios within Hollywood for their inability to have a completed script before they start production. Now, he never names names specifically in this, but a lot of people who are following the entertainment industry could probably read between the lines and think that he's probably calling out Marvel because he previously worked for Marvel. And it's no secret that they have a tendency of getting started on their movies without having a finished script. Like Captain America Brave New World, they were done with principal photography and they were just supposed to do some minor pickup shots that apparently entailed hiring new actors and bringing in new writers. I mean, to me, that doesn't sound like it's just minor stuff. It seems like it's some pretty significant reshoots if you have to have new writers for that. And it wasn't even just relegated to that movie either. Right now, with Avengers Doomsday being shot, some actors are reportedly done shooting their roles. I mean, obviously, they're minor roles, but still, there's some actors that they announced during that big chair video that they had that are done shooting for Avengers Doomsday, and they still do not have a finished script for that movie. There's even talks with other actors that they want to bring into that movie, but they're still in the contract negotiation phase of it. But again, they're shooting the movie. They don't even have a finished script. They don't even know all the characters that are going to be in the movie, which to me, that's not a good sign for a production when you have to try to fix stuff at the last second like that. No, perhaps maybe you could actually get a good movie as a result of it, because this isn't necessarily a new thing for Marvel, but I would say the good things that come from this are usually the exception and not the rule. But let's look at what James Gunn has to say more specifically. James Gunn says the movie industry is dying due to films being made with unfinished script. Now, I want to say that this is the only reason, but I do think it is a contributing factor, because a lot of things that people have against the movie industry right now, why they're not watching them in theaters, is because they're saying quality of movies has been declining over recent years. And one thing that I think could actually fix this is actually knowing what you're shooting before you start shooting it. James Gunn has a number one reason why he believes the movie industry is dying. The filmmaker and co-head of DC Studios recently told Rolling Stones that a lot of the bad movies being released are due to the production dates being set before scripts are completely finished. I do believe that the reason why the movie industry is dying is not because of people not wanting to see movies. It's because of home screens getting so good. Gunn said the number one reason is because people are making movies without a finished screenplay. And like I said, I think that is a large contributing factor to it. But of course, there is a number of other reasons. This is just something that Hollywood could address on their own. And if you think about it, it really doesn't even cost them money either. I mean, if you have an idea for a movie, it's like, okay, once we get a script completed, once we know what we're doing, then we can start on it. You don't just get an idea and be like, okay, we'll set a release date for it and then figure out how to then kind of just leave ourselves scrambling. Now, I understand that you have to have some deadlines, because if you just say like, we'll shoot the movie when we finally get around to it, then it might not ever happen. So you have to set some type of goals, but they could be a little bit more realistic. When it came to Avengers Doomsday, they delayed the production, or they delayed the release of it about 6 months, because it was supposed to be released a year from now when they don't even have a finished script and they just started production. I said that was probably a little bit ambitious. Come to find out that was the case, and they set it back 6 months. Honestly, at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised if they delayed it yet again to maybe the following spring, in order to give themselves more time. Because if you think about it, about 18 months or so to shoot the whole, or finish the script, shoot the whole movie, and then finish all the VFX work for it. It's possible that they could do that. I just don't really think that they can do that and also keep it up to a good quality. So there probably will need to be another delay at some point, but that's another thing entirely. When Gunn took over at the helm of DC Studios with Peter Safran, he emphasized that superhero films under his guidance would not go into production until scripts were finalized. He even admitted that they just killed a project due to that very reason. Everybody wanted to make this movie. It was greenlit, ready to go. The Superman director said, the screenplay wasn't ready, and I couldn't do a movie where the screenplay's not good. Now, that's kind of two different things right there, saying it's not ready and it's not good. Maybe they had a screenplay, but it just wasn't good, so he's saying it's not ready. They need to fix it a bit more in order for them to be going into production with it. They couldn't do that, so they killed the project. No, I'm not saying that they should necessarily kill the project, but I mean, if you've been working on it for a while, you keep trying to go back and forth on the script, you can't find something that you feel makes it work. Some studios will be like, okay, well, we'll just get started in the production phase of this, and maybe we can figure it out later on. Gunn is like, no, I don't want to do the whole figure it out later on and hope that things just kind of fall into place. We've been working on it for a while now. We couldn't get it to work. So just because we couldn't get it to work now doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be able to figure it out later on. I think, honestly, that's probably a pretty good indicator that maybe the idea sounds good at first, but if you can't make the script work for it, then the movie probably wouldn't work either. So it's probably best just to cancel it outright. Everybody wanted to make the movie. It was green. Okay, I already read that. Gunn added. We've been really lucky so far because Supergirl's script was so effing good off the bat, and the Lanyards came in and the script was so effing good. Clayface, same thing, so effing good. So we have these scripts that we've been really lucky with, or wise in our choice of whatever the combination is. Not having a mandate from Warner Brothers to deliver a certain number of DC projects has also helped Gunn, as the Guardians of the Galaxy director believes Disney's previous mandate of increased Marvel films and TV shows killed them. Disney CEO Bob Iger has since refocused Marvel on quality over quantity. Yes, this is something that Bob Iger has said many times over the years. Yes, we're going to kind of tone down how many we're releasing. We're going to focus on quality, and he said that a number of times, and I really don't buy it. Yes, I know next year they're going to only have one movie so far. That's Avengers Doomsday that's set to come out, but it's not necessarily because of any creative decision on the part of Disney. It's just simply because they have nothing that they can release at this point. Not to mention the poor results of some of their other movies have kind of left them canceling projects or delaying them to the point where they're essentially dead in the water. So it's not Disney actually doing the right thing, because if they were doing the right thing, then they wouldn't be shooting Avengers Doomsday without a finished script right now. We have to treat every project as if we're lucky, Gunn explained. We don't have the mandate at DC Studios to have a certain amount of movies and TV shows every year. So we're going to put out everything that we think is of the highest quality. We're obviously going to do some good things and some not so good things, but hopefully on the average, everything will be as high quality as possible. Nothing goes before there's a screenplay that I personally am happy with. And Gunn's judgment on this one could be up in the air. Maybe he thinks something is good and it just doesn't work out, or audiences disagree. That happens, and he seems to be aware of this, saying we're going to put out some good stuff, some not so good stuff. But I think as far as an approach to how you're going to do movies in the future, this isn't necessarily a bad way to go about doing things. I mean, this should just be filmmaking 101. You don't start until you have a finished script, but a lot of studios have been kind of deviating from that. And when studios actually do stick by that, it's seen as kind of an exception and something that be studied, like the Dune movies, for instance. This is just a prime example of a movie or movie series that were highly successful, cost relatively a high amount of money, but weren't as expensive as what you would come to expect from a movie of the scale of these. And a lot of that just has to deal with the fact that they were wise with the way that they used their budget, and also that they had a finished script before the movie was completed. Like Dune 2, it says right here, $190 million. First film cost $165 million. And when you look at that and think, like, $165 million is clearly a high amount, but it wasn't so ridiculous compared to a Marvel movie, because if Marvel was to make that movie looking the way it did, it would probably have been $250, maybe $300 million. And that's because, like I said, Marvel has a tendency of reshooting stuff and scrapping a bunch of things, spend a lot of money on VFX for shots that you never actually use. For Dune, they had a script in mind, what they were wanting to do. They stuck with that, and they planned out all the VFX shots ahead of time, so they weren't actually wasting so they weren't wasting money on it, trying to make sure every dollar goes or is seen on screen. And it really worked out for those movies. But the fact that they actually have to write articles about that and talk about, like, oh, well, what a novel idea, don't waste your money. But still, I mean, that is kind of a common thing within the industry. James Gunn, when it comes to DC, is looking to rectify that. We'll just see if other studios will try to pick up on that. At Marvel, they're saying that they're going to be doing that, but like I said, they've been saying that for years now, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think this is a good idea from James Gunn, or do you think this is not even necessarily a good idea, but just something that everyone should be doing to begin with? Comment below, and also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news, and don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.